Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So are you guys doing YouTube or no?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yo, okay.
As they reach the Egyptian border, ABC's Matt Rivers is in Cairo with more.
There's basically only two ways out of Gaza. One is by crossing the border into Israel. Obviously, that's not happening right now.
Good morning and welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs. We are here on 850 WFTL at 11 o'clock every Sunday morning. I'm Karen Curtis and I'm with attorney Eric Glazer. He is board certified in community association law. He has a law firm called Glazer and Sachs in Hollywood, Florida, where we are going live on our YouTube channel, Condo Craze and HOAs, so you can reach us there, see us live, talk to us in the chat box. Eventually, you'll have a phone number where you can join us live on YouTube. But right now, if you want to call into the show, the number to call, VJ will answer the phone at the studio on the radio station. It is 877-850-8585, 877-850-8585. Eric.
All right, good morning, everybody. If you're a fan of the show, again, don't forget to subscribe to two things. Number one, the Condo Craze and HOAs channel on YouTube, where you can not only watch the show live, you can watch all of our previous shows, and of course, join the Condo Craze and HOAs email list at www.condocrazeandhoas.com, because by joining the email list, you'll get announcements about our show, our seminars. We had more last week and more coming up this week. You get announcements about the law. You get copies of our newsletters and a whole lot more. You can also follow the show now on Facebook, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify as well. And we do a blog every single Monday morning at HOA-condoblog.com. Tomorrow's topic, priorities, is something different. And in light of the 1,300 Israelis killed by Hamas last week and the 2,000 innocent civilians, and the fact that the country is at war, it's on several fronts now, it seems, in the north, I really didn't feel like blogging about trash cans, obnoxious owners, and board members and Ring doorbells this week, or anything else for that matter. So instead, I thought on this show, to show some respect to everybody that died, let's just have a few seconds of a moment of silence. Thank you, everybody. Tough week.
Yeah,
but,
unbelievable. I mean, we know election.
Real small. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Karen.
No, that's right.
But the country is so small that everybody knows someone or a family.
That's right.
That that was related to this loss.
But this whole thing in Gaza, and it's just so many people per square mile.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
They can't go anywhere, and then they've got tunnels underneath it.
Egypt is going to have a tough choice. Egypt is going to have to open
closed
their
the border.
Yeah, they're going to have to open it up. Otherwise, it will absolutely be a tough place. It will potentially result in a real human tragedy if Egypt doesn't open their borders, or some other Arab country doesn't open their borders. We took in 7 million people in the last, 2-3 years under Biden. Why can't we take this 1.8 million people that live in Gaza and have some help from the other Arab countries? But you don't see that, at least not yet, right?
Yeah.
So,
and my heart goes out to anyone who who was kidnapped and being held in those
Terrible.
tunnels.
Just there's no words.
No.
And then you turn on the TV and you see what's going on our college campuses. And even the mayor of New York, I got to give him credit, Mayor Adams was saying, how did we get to that? How did we get to a place where 1,300 Israelis are massacred, including babies having their heads chopped off, and you have college kids on college campuses cheering, partying with it, condemning Israel. And
They've said it's Israel's fault.
Correct. And it's okay with a lot of the college administrators. Now, what's different, ironically, is that in England, right, I was reading this yesterday, that simply even marching for a terrorist organization that is labeled a terrorist organization by your country, simply by marching in their favor, right, you can be arrested.
Wow.
Think about that. If it's a terrorist organization. Here, you get arrested if you give them some support. You have to show that you give terrorist
odd because
organizations support.
the BBC, their policy is that they cannot report that Hamas is a terrorist organization.
Well,
they're not allowed to report that because it's taking sides.
I've seen. That's what I've read about the BBC. So can you imagine?
And that's a publicly owned, television company.
There is certain stations, like of course Fox, and I'll tell you even CNN, who's labeling Hamas a terrorist organization. MSNBC is basically in their favor almost. It's unbelievable if you watch. That's why their ratings have plummeted. But it's been a really, really tough week. But for today, the show goes on. Karen, you're up.
Yes, so we know it's election season and it's beginning at all of our condos and HOAs, and now's the time that most of the associations are sending out their first notices of the annual meeting, and people are returning a notice that says that they want to run for a seat on the board of directors.
Yeah, and that's right, but the question is, who has the right to run for the board? So Karen, let's go over some of the easy disqualifications, right? What disqualifies you from running for the board?
If you're really intelligent and you care about the community,
right,
and you live there, you cannot.
Automatic disqualification.
I'll admit. So it's a person who's delinquent in the payment of any assessment due the association. You're not eligible to be a candidate for a board membership, and you may not be listed on the ballot.
That's an easy one, right? Your money, you can't run.
Okay. Then if you've been convicted of any felony in this state or in Florida, well, I guess that would be the same thing. Or who has been convicted of any offense in another jurisdiction, which would be considered a felony if committed in Florida, is not eligible for board membership unless such felon's civil rights have been restored for at least 5 years as the date such a person seeks election to the board. But if you're in jail for a felony and you have not been adjudicated, you can still run.
If you've been convicted, right? Correct. That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Good
So
point.
Trump could run for a board.
He can run for a seat on the board of directors. I don't think he would want to do that. However, how do you like the judge in New York taking the position that Mar-a-Lago is worth what the property appraiser said it was, like $16 million?
Yeah. It's worth whatever someone's going to pay for
it. An
it.
empty lot next door in that area sells for like $75 million.
Yeah.
An empty lot. Well, one lot. Mar-a-Lago's like 15 lots.
Mar-a-Lago's multiple acres.
Right.
It's on the intracoastal and the ocean.
Mar-a-Lago is worth somewhere between $500 million and $1 billion.
Whatever someone's going to pay for it. That's what it's worth. You can't sit there and say something, like the sweater that Diana wore with the black sheep and it's worth $200. Well, they sold it for $1 million. How can you say it's all brand?
But the judge says it's worth $18 million.
Well, then that's the judge's opinion.
Yeah, that's how it works in New York. Especially an old guy sitting on the bench. Rest assured, the only way he got there is by being a Democrat for his entire
in New York
life. You can guarantee it. Okay, most people in a condo are familiar with the restrictions that you just mentioned, Karen. You can't run if you're delinquent. You can't run if you're a felon. But I get complaints every year without fail from someone that says a particular unit owner shouldn't be allowed to run for a seat on the board because they only live in the condo or HOA half the year. They're snowbirds.
Okay.
And they don't want snowbirds on their board. But I tell them time and again, as long
snowbird.
as they... snowboard.
There's
snowbirds on the board. You can't stop snowbirds from being on the board. So I guess if a whole board lives away, it's a snowboard.
That's a snowboard.
That's a snowboard. There
That's
you go.
Right.
But as long as they otherwise meet the criteria for getting on the board, There is no snowbird disqualification.
No.
Yeah, so
We have
you
board
get-
members that live in Canada.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you know that lots of people get mad about this, and they think that someone who lives in the community half the year cannot possibly be a good board member because they cannot physically attend a board meeting.
Yeah.
They can't really know what's going on
Yeah,
there
but-
if they're not there.
As we learned, right? As we learned since COVID, all of our meetings are now being held by way of Zoom. So it's irrelevant to
I
me.
see.
Having a physical presence at the board,
Yeah, but, you
to
know,
me, clearly isn't necessary.
Something has to be said for living there
I
and
agree.
talking to your neighbors and
Seeing the
understanding
damage,
and seeing
seeing what's going on. I get it.
Because there's all kinds of stuff ferreting going on.
Totally get it. But here's what really infuriates people. Suppose a person who doesn't even own a home, doesn't even own a unit in the community, they want to run for a board seat.
What?
Yes.
Wait a minute. So you've said this before on the show. Sometimes you can review the bylaws over and over, and there's simply no requirement for a board member to own a property in the community in which you're a board member. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and that's very true. You know, clearly.
So George Soros could become a board member.
Technically, that's correct. Now, clearly, it would be difficult for such a person to run for the board because only owners are entitled to get notice to submit their names. But I will tell you that I've personally been involved with condominiums where once the board is elected, you know, and the members need to fill a vacancy on the board, they look outside their own community association if the documents allow for it. And sometimes they know who's an accountant, who's an
good
engineer,
idea.
and they believe who would make a great fit for the board. And as long as that person is willing, the board appoints them to fill a vacancy or makes them an officer. It happens.
It sounds like the House of Representatives problem.
Oh, God, don't even get me started. The Republicans are not looking good on that
They're
one.
going to have to go outside the
It
House.
looks terrible.
So anyway, there are some people that are willing to serve on multiple boards at the same time, and there are some people willing to serve on boards in places that they don't even live in. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Sadists, but I actually had someone write to me about this, right? Here's what they said about having non-owners on their board, okay? I think it makes sense to allow certain individuals who don't own a unit in a condo to run for the board. Two of our very best board members were not unit owners. One was a board member / unit owner and a managing partner for a prominent law firm. He served on the board for 15 years. He sold his unit and rented in the condominium for another year and continued serving on the board since our bylaws allow for it. Another board member lives in the condominium, but he's not a unit owner. He owns a business with offices in various countries. So obviously, a bright guy. You know,
Yeah.
bright guy. So the condominium is solely in his wife's name for estate planning purposes. So, you know, he doesn't own.
Oh, okay.
So here's a guy, you know, two guys, qualified people, very smart in the business world. The documents don't require that you have to be an owner to be on the board. They were living there, but they just weren't owners.
I have a question. So only one 55 and over person needs to be in the unit if you're in a 55 and over.
Correct.
And what if someone in that unit who's not 55 and over wants to be on the board?
If the documents allow for it, where you don't have
You
to
can
be
have a
an owner,
30-year-old on the board.
Absolutely can. It's a good one.
So weird.
Very, very. That's a great thing you just came up with. I think that was very bright. And but there you have it. You know, what do our unit owners think? Should non-owners be allowed to be on your board in your community? Let us know what you think. Give us a call here at the studio, 877-850-8585. Again, 877-850-8585. Or drop your question in the chat box on the Condo Craze and HOAs channel on YouTube.
Management companies, and there are very small management companies, and I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are big enough to provide you with all of the back of the house services, the accounting, the infrastructure, the support systems, but small enough to be high touch.
We believe at Affinity that we do the 9 to 5 so that you don't have to do that.
Oh no! An unexpected leak! Jay, you know that's no way to solve a roof problem. Call Best Roofing. We solve roof problems.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project.
Please visit rimkiss.com.
Welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs here on 850 WFTL and on our YouTube channel, Condo Craze and HOAs. You can see Eric Glazer. He's an attorney, board certified in community association law. I'm Karen Curtis. We've been together for 15 years on this show.
Years, yep.
And we're branching out onto the YouTube channel. It's super exciting. But you can also reach us on the phone here on 850-877-850-8585. That's for free advice on anything condo or HOA related.
Keep the calls coming in. As a matter of fact, let's go to the board, though. A couple of good questions here. Okay, from Fred. Good morning, Counselor and Karen. I learned a lot last week at the training seminar at the Broward Signature Grand. We had a nice turnout in Broward, like Fred says, at the Signature Grand.
Was it a sold-out
crowd? Good seeing you. Good packed room. Yeah, the room was really, really packed. So for everybody that showed up, I want to say thank you, and I hope you had a good time. Absolutely. Maria says, let's keep politics out of this. Democrat, 100%. Right.
What's politics? We're talking about a war. Is that politics? I thought that was more religious.
I agree, 100%. Well, here's the truth of the matter. I'll make for those that are listening out there. If I bring politics into the show, you know what happens? On Monday morning, I come in and Democrats will write me, keep politics out of the show. It's not right that you talk about politics. The Republicans will say, great show yesterday on Sunday, Eric. Way to go. That's how it typically works.
I saw a commercial during sports,
right,
during football yesterday that was about that, where the athlete was talking about kneeling, and they're like, oh, no, you can't have that. Right. And then he's like, to say a prayer, oh, yeah, he can do that. And then it goes on different sides, like object to everything. But you have to be able to, it's your hour. You can talk about what you want.
We can't get to November 2024, whoever's going to win. We can't get to November 2024 fast enough. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, Susan writes in, bylaw state directors to be removed if no longer a member. That makes sense. Membership is based on the deed. That makes sense. Attorney says, notwithstanding this bylaw, no reason a non-owner can be on board. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Again, I'd have to look at your documents, but the way you're describing it, Susan, that directors must be removed if no longer a member. You only are a member if you own. So if you don't own, you cannot be on the board of directors. That's absolutely the way I interpret that. Fred writes in again, very difficult to get members to actually recruit them. Snowboarders or any others. I agree. Always difficult to get people to run for the board. 100%, non-paying position, you put in a lot of hours.
Big headache.
It's tough. Maria writes in, okay, here's one opinion. Yes, absolutely allow non-board members, non-owners, to run for the board. They don't have skin in the game.
That's true.
And their votes would not be biased.
Really good point.
I think a very good, it's
it
an
would
excellent
just be
point,
fair.
Maria. Absolutely.
I like it.
There's another question. Let's see. Can condos charge extra to use the car wash and the bike rack? Okay. So under the law,
what?
Car wash and bike rack, can they charge extra for it? Technically, the answer is yes. For those types of things, the association can make reasonable rules and pass on the amount of money that it would take that they feel you're gaining by using that specific common element. So if you used $5 worth of water that the association had to pay for your car wash, no problem if the association
But what about
used
the bike
$5.
rack? It's an inert
The bike
piece
rack,
of metal.
yeah, I agree. I don't think they should be charging for use of the bike rack. Where this always comes in as a fight is the party room, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you want to use the party room and make a birthday party for your own kid or something, they charge you $100 for the party room.
That's fair.
Because they got to pay somebody to clean it up and all of that stuff afterwards. So
Well, and
is
you're
that
using
reasonable?
the water and
Yes.
the power
Yes.
and that whole thing. But my thing with the bike rack is maybe that's to deter, because if there's too many bikes and not
Exactly.
all of them fit on
Right.
the bike rack, then you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but it shouldn't. It should be a very, very reasonable, minimal charge.
Yeah.
If any. How about we go to the first call of the day, VJ? Who do we have?
Lewis in Orlando.
Oh,
Lewis
well,
in
hold
Orlando.
on. For the closest we got there is Bradenton.
No, we did Orlando. Enough. We did Orlando.
But you're going to be in Bradenton and Tampa.
We'll
so
be
on the
in Bradenton
24th,
and,
Bradenton
yes.
Convention Center, 25th Tampa Bay Convention Center
Yeah.
for teaching your seminar.
That's exactly right.
To get
but
you board
We
certified.
just did Orlando. Had a nice turnout.
Nice. Okay, go ahead.
Lewis.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call, Mr. Glazer.
Sure.
I have this situation in a condominium association. The board has never been elected, and last year, actually, they prevented homeowners from casting their vote. They locked the clubhouse and did not allow the homeowners to cast their vote. Nevertheless, these people that are on the board are doing an $18 million loan to rebuild the condo because it was destroyed by Hurricane Ian. And the special assessment that they are going to impose on every homeowner is going to price them out of their homes. It's a special assessment that goes from $649
wow.
to $1,000 per month for a 12 years period.
Yeah.
Is this loan considered legal? Are they the board of directors considered to be a legal board of directors?
Well, shouldn't
Can
insurance
they do
cover that?
So yeah. Did you have an insurance claim? Was the claim settled?
Why is
The
it costing?
insurance claim was denied and is currently under arbitration.
It's
Arbitration.
destroyed. The building is destroyed. You have nothing to sell if you want to
It's
sell
a
your
19
unit.
buildings condominium and 266 units. The first floor, 133 units, were destroyed by up to 3 feet high that we had, and they are going to they're doing $18 million to
That's flood
rebuild
insurance. That's a national
because
thing.
the insurance is still going under litigation, and they plan to when they receive the profits from the insurance, then to pay the loan
To pay it back.
and suspend or terminate
Well,
the
that's-
special assessment.
that
so we
sounds
don't know
like-
if that is going to happen or not.
That sounds like the correct plan.
Okay.
Sounds like they're doing it right? But my problem is, why hasn't there been an election in your association? In how long now?
Like I said, they have never been elected, and they move the date of the election to any date that they please. And we are actually going through a recall, and the recall is, being determined now by DBPR. By the 20th of November, DBPR is going to issue their determination.
Okay.
But my question is this: they have never been elected, like I mentioned before. And last year, on October 6th, they blocked the clubhouse. They didn't allow not one single homeowner to come in to cast their votes. And are they a legal board of directors?
Well, I'm not going to opine on that until I know all of the facts. But needless to say, you have to have an annual election every year, right? I don't know if these people got elected for 2-year terms. Is it possible they got elected for 2-year terms, or that didn't happen?
No, they never get elected. They reappoint themselves every year, claiming that we don't attain quorum. But in a condominium election, there is no quorum requirement.
You're 100% right. So it's it sounds to me like the board doesn't know what they're doing. If that's their answer, that we can't get a quorum. A quorum is not necessary. You're correct. You took the very difficult way, quite frankly, of doing it by recall. I think somebody in your association could have filed a quick arbitration case, and I think you would have won the arbitration case, or even filed a complaint with the DVPR, and they might have helped out. There's a recall. It's a lot of hard work, and I think there's easier ways you could have followed to accomplish your objective. But since they said they're going to rule in November, I wish you luck. That's all I could say, buddy. Okay, let us know how it turns out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Who else we have, VJ?
We have Marie in Margate.
Hey, Marie.
Good morning, Eric and Karen.
Hey.
Prayers for Israel.
Yes,
Eric,
thank you.
A few episodes ago, you were speaking about square footage versus the building height.
Yes.
What's required in the new law. I can't remember what you said exactly about the square footage.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm speaking of?
Yes. So what county are you in?
Broward.
Broward County. Okay. So after we had the tragedy in Surfside, the state made new laws that said, okay, we have to have inspections for condominiums as they age, right? So in 65 out of the 67 counties, it goes by 3 stories or more, how tall the condominium is. You're going to go through this inspection if your condominium is 3 stories or more. In Dade and Broward, we say, no, height has nothing to do with it, okay? It goes by square footage of your building. And I think in Broward, it's 3,000 square feet or 3,500 square feet. So if you have a building, and that building might be comprised of 3, 4, 5 different condominium units, right? But it's connected. You're sharing a roof. And if that building is 3,500 square feet, you're not only going to go through a structural recertification. They don't call it milestone inspections in Dade and Broward. It's recertifications. And if the building is 3,500 square feet or more, you're going to have to go through this recertification, not just for structural. The whole state only has to do structural. Dade and Broward, you have to do structural and electrical. So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
You got it.
Thank you for your show also.
Thank you very much. It's an honor. Okay, let's do this. Let's take our bottom of the hour break. Keep the calls coming in. Do not wait for the last second and get shut out. Every single week I hear I can't get through. Well,
really?
Start now, okay?
Call now.
877-850-8585, 877-850-8585. We'll be
Future of fiber is here. QXC Communications is a fiber network engineering firm based in Boca Raton. We build fiber networks that deliver high-speed internet, Wi-Fi, HDTV, and voice services, primarily to Florida's condominium communities. QXC's AON architecture is the industry's best practice and a game changer for our customers. We run 2 dedicated fibers to each unit. No splitters, no cables. So, every resident gets uninterrupted blazing fast speed and military-grade data security. Our Wi-Fi 6 network deployment powers performance on multiple devices with no dead zones. And the QXC TV app makes everyday programming access a breeze with 3-day rewind and optional cloud DVR. QXC AON Fiber is where the industry is heading. Get connected today.
Is your condominium or HOA in need of accounting services? Look no further. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is one of South Florida's largest accounting and auditing firms, as recognized by the South Florida Business Journal, and is one of the few accounting firms uniquely specialized to provide accounting services to their growing condominium and homeowner association clientele throughout Florida. With primary offices in Aventura and Boca Raton, satellite offices in Naples and Orlando, and a professional staff of 65, Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is prepared to meet meet the needs of any condominium or HOA in the state. The professionals at Gerstle, Rosen, and Goldenberg also have experience working with timeshares, cooperatives, hotel condominiums, mixed-use buildings, and ancillary operations like restaurants, spas, and country clubs. Put their 25 years experience in your corner. Gerstle, Rosen, and Goldenberg, 305-937-0116. That's 305-937-0116 or grgcpa.com.
Someday, you will need insurance. And for that day, you'll be glad you wrote down Insurco Insurance and Financial Services. Why? Because Insurco virtually insures everything. They're a full-line insurance agency that'll put together the best possible coverage and premium for almost anything. Need homeowners or condo insurance? Call Insurco. Need auto or motorcycle insurance? Call Insurco. How about golf cart insurance or trailer and RV insurance? Just call Insurco for a free quote. They're open every day. From renter's insurance, officers and directors insurance, and personal liability umbrellas to all types of business insurance, boat insurance, cancer policies, life, health, and annuities. All you need is Insurco. Get a free quote. They service Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Speak English and Spanish. Insurco Insurance and Financial Services. It's the only name you need. Office at 14401 West Sunrise Boulevard in Sunrise, inside Edmore Chevrolet.
Call 954-846-1206. 954-846-1206. That's 954-846-1206.
All over the world, people have plumbing problems. These problems can be expensive and destructive to fix. Have you ever wondered if there was a way to take care of your plumbing problems without destruction and an outrageous price tag? Welcome to Pipelining Technologies, Inc., where we specialize in fixing your problems without demolition and minimum cutting by means of pipelining. Pipelining is the ability to take a pipe damaged by root intrusion or long-term deterioration and make it new. By means of inserting an epoxy-saturated liner into the pipe and allowing it to harden or cure, leaving behind a brand new pipe.
That sounds great. How can I get pipelining in my home, commercial building, or condominium?
Simply fill out our online contact form and a pipelining representative will get in touch with you in a timely fashion, or call us directly at 561-853-5463.
Praise and HOAs here on 850 WFTL. And on our YouTube channel, we are live. Eric Glazer, he's board certified in Community Association Law. I'm Karen Curtis. If you want to give us a call on the AM radio, it's 877-850-8585. Or you can ask a question in the chat box on our YouTube channel.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, in the chat box, we have Juan that writes in and writes, abogados abusivos y imponen multas y cobra fees. I need help.
Yeah,
I need help. If there's a Spanish person out there that can
speaking.
translate that for me. Abogados abusive, I'm guessing that means abusive lawyers. Objection. Yeah, but somebody needs to tell me what e imponen multas y cobra fees is. I'd really appreciate it. Richard writes in, special assessments related to hurricanes should be covered by HO6 insurance, and Richard is right. So there's a lot of reasons to get HO6 insurance, right?
But the flooding on the first
flooding,
floor, that's
right?
a national insurance situation.
That's national insurance.
So that should
right.
be paid immediately.
But let's say you are in your house and you wake up and your house is flooded because the person above you, their water heater leaked, right? And you're upset about it, but they weren't negligent. All that happened is their water heater broke, right?
Stuff
but
happens.
Your unit is ruined in the meantime. That's what you get an HO6 policy for, right? But there's another reason to have an HO6 policy, and that is because all HO6 policies are required to also provide you with, I think it's up to $2,500 for special assessments that are caused as a result of a hurricane.
Oh.
So it's great. I mean, I think it's a policy that one provision, I should say, pays for itself.
Yes.
Should you ever have a hurricane. So,
very good.
Richard, that's a real good comment. All right, back to the phones. Who do we got, VJ?
I might have his name wrong, but I think it's Moshe from Surfside.
Moshe, okay. How are you, Moshe?
Yeah, hi Eric. Thank you for your comments and prayers about Israel. We have a grandson serving in the IDF on the Gaza border.
Wow.
Nice.
And we pray for him every day.
I'm sure you do, and I
Absolutely.
pray for him as well.
Well, let me ask you, what can a board do about a unit owner who is full of mold? The unit is full of mold. It really smells, and the unit owner is not cooperating. What can the board do?
The board has the right to go in.
They have the
right?
duty.
Reason that the duty. I would agree
that
with
could be
you.
sickening.
Right, but the board has the right to go in during the reasonable hours to prevent damage to that unit, the surrounding units, and the common elements. If that person won't let you in, right, you can get a court order from a judge. You know, we've done this before. Go in, get a court order. Sometimes the judge will say to the unit owner, can't even stay there, get out.
Yeah, and if you complained about it and they don't do anything about it and that mold makes you sick, then the board is like legally
Potentially, yeah.
individually.
If that mold makes somebody else sick, could potentially be, individually liable.
Right.
Yeah, if the board just ignores it. Now, why did that happen? Why is there mold in their unit?
I think there was a unit above them that leaked in.
Okay.
And this unit owner did not even have air conditioning for months and months. They didn't run their air conditioning.
So there you go. So that leak above caused water to get into the walls. The walls are now loaded with mold. You have an obligation, as Karen said, you have an obligation to go in there.
Yeah.
You know, to actually fix the mold, to remove, fix everything that needs to be fixed, so that the person who, this is how crazy it is, so that the person who's living there and who won't let you in doesn't get sick.
And they're not running their air conditioning.
Right.
It's got to be just awful.
But very simple letter from council that says, we're coming in, period. Pick the day.
How can they be
Right?
living in there without air conditioning? They must be dead.
Yeah, it seems impossible in South Florida, right? But it seems impossible.
There's no way.
A very simple letter from council citing the statute that says the board has a right to come in. If you don't get back to us within 3 days, we will do it on our own volition. We're being kind. We're trying to work out a date with you. But if you don't let us in, we're going to come in anyway. That's what
and
needs
who are
to
they
be
coming
done.
in with? They're coming in with mold
Coming,
remediators?
yes, coming in with a general contractor, somebody take pictures
Health
so they can
department,
give it.
maybe
Yeah.
they can do air samples?
Let's start with just going in maybe with a general contractor or a camera and just taking some pictures.
Okay.
And then you'll figure out what you need to do next. Okay? But you have every right to get in there, Moshe.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
That's
Thank
why
you.
they make lawyers. Okay, who else we got, VJ?
And that's even though
We have Susan in Fort Myers.
the water wasn't their problem anyway, but still, it is your problem.
It absolutely, especially when there's mold. It really is your problem. Susan, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question. We had 7 board members, and one person moved, and nobody wants that 7th spot.
Okay.
Does the board have to vote a 6th person off
No.
and go down to a 5?
Absolutely
Person
not.
board?
No, absolutely not. So the board's going to be, for the time being, the board's going to have 6 people, period.
And that's fine, probably.
Yeah, if they find it impossible to fill that 7th spot, then they're going to run with 6 for as long as they have to. When's the next election?
But I thought you can't have 6 because then there's nobody to break the tie.
Well, why are you assuming that
If
there's always going to be
on a vote.
Why are you assuming there's always going to be a 3-3 tie? We don't know that that's going to happen, right? But you've tried. You've tried to get your 7. You did have your 7. You can't get that 7th one because nobody wants to run. There is nothing in the law, there's nothing in your governing documents that says somebody gets kicked off the board. You couldn't find me one provision anywhere in your docs or in Florida Statute 718 which says now somebody gets kicked off. So you operate as a 6-person board for the time being until your next election.
There's 6-member juries.
Yes, there are. That's exactly right.
And what happens if there's a vote on a question and it's a tie vote?
Well, then a tie, the motion does not carry.
There you go.
Because you don't have a majority and you move on to the next topic. Okay? Yes, it's possible that they're going to be
Okay,
ties
now
now,
I understand.
but it is what it is. Okay?
A tie is it doesn't carry.
Yeah, somebody makes a motion.
It's
if
a
it's
no.
3-3, it's really a no
Yeah.
because it did not carry. That's
you go.
correct. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric.
You got it. All right, Al B writes in, thanks for all the important information in your show. We have an investor/developer that owns approximately a third of the building. Laws punish owners. Now what? Well, remember, there's after a developer owns units for a period of time, that owner, technically, that developer, I should say, is gone. Developers can't control a building forever. Well, in an HOA, technically, developers can be around for almost forever.
Oh.
But in a condo, once it's 7 years that declaration has been recorded, there must be, under no circumstances can it not be, the unit owners get to control a majority of the board of directors.
Hasn't that time frame gotten smaller?
No,
Or longer?
No, it's for the long time. It's 7 years.
Okay.
There's some case law that says if even before that, if in a condo, if the developer is renting out units in the ordinary course of business, you can force turnover now.
I just thought the legislature did something for the developer because they're
you
so
might be thinking about a
pro-developer.
case that we won.
That's
We
it.
won a case where developers were renting out their units in the ordinary course of business, and they said, it's okay, we still get to control a majority of the board, and we beat them on that case.
Okay.
We said no. Once you start renting out the units in the ordinary course of business, it forces turnover. We won it. Okay? All right, let's do this. Let's take our final break of the hour. 877-850-8585 again. 877-850-8585 or drop your question in the chat box on YouTube. Do not wait for the last second. We'll be
Looking old, worn out, and in need of a fresh look? Then you need PD Painting to paint your property and make it look like new again. PD Painting will first properly prepare your home and condo and then use only the highest quality paint products. After many years in the painting industry, PD Painting has achieved a reputation for always delivering a reliable and professional finish. PD Painting is fully licensed and insured and offers a 7 to 10-year warranty. Their technicians are expert craftsmen. Let PD Painting handle all the details and then sit back and watch them restore your property and bring back that brand new look and feel. Need a service call? PD Painting will be there on the spot. Need financing? PD Painting can offer that too. Call PD Painting at 888-416-3204. Again, that's 888-416-3204. Go to the website pdpaintinginc.com. Need painting done in your home and community? Contact the experts at PD Painting.
This message is for anyone who has taken on the important responsibility of becoming an officer or director in a homeowner or condominium association. It is also for the management companies who work closely with these caring people to make sure things are done the right way. Hello, I'm Gil Pomar, South Florida Regional President for Center State Bank, now the second largest bank based in Florida. Our bank, Center State Bank, has an amazing team of professionals who are exclusively dedicated to the homeowner and condo association market. Your job is not easy. There are repairs and new projects that need financing. There are legal and social issues that need to be understood. There are also technology and servicing issues that your residents want to be improved. Why not choose a bank that knows this business backward and forward? Why not have a local banker who will meet with you face to face whenever it is convenient for you or your board? Center State Bank has over 2,000 associations as customers for a reason. Please give us a chance to earn your business. Call Terry Russo at 954-633-1666 to make it happen. Center State Bank is an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC.
Need an insurance evaluation, audit, or quotation for your condo association or homeowners association? If so, then you need to speak with our insurance experts at Mack Waltz. We insure over 800 associations, and we are the clear leader in this marketplace. Mack Waltz has been in business since 1989. We write insurance on billions of dollars of property values. We are an independent insurance agency representing insurance companies which specialize in condo and HOA insurance. The staff at Mack Waltz works closely with board members and property managers and regularly attends association meetings to help educate the association about their insurance policies. To learn more about how Mack Waltz can save you money and improve your insurance program, call now 954-640-6225 and ask for Greg Waltz. 954-640-6225. Mac & Waltz Insurance Group. Let us protect your association. The final segment of Condo Craze and HOAs here on 850 WFTL. Just a couple phone lines are open if you want to call and ask Eric, who's board certified in community association law, anything about your condo or HOA that's bugging you. 877-850-8585. I just want to say on the 17th, you're going to be in Miami at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. You're going to be teaching your seminar, which gets people board certified.
That's in Miami. Hey, people in Miami, listen up. You know, if there's any county in the entire country, right, that should be at this seminar, it's the people from Dade County for the obvious reasons. They have the most
strenuous rules.
You know, that's where the catastrophe happens.
That's where Surfside
so
happens.
So if there's ever, directors that should show up, quite frankly, out of respect, if nothing else, directors from Miami-Dade should be there.
And we even had the call from Surfside. Also, October 19th, you'll be in Palm Beach County at the Palm Beach Convention Center. And if you want to register, go to condocrazeandhoas.com. It's free. He feeds you. He gives you a certificate. He informs you. You learn a lot, and it's worth it. And you get to meet Eric.
Thanks, Karen. Busy week coming up. Maria, thank you for answering our question about that translation. She says, Juan is saying that lawyers abuse with fees and fines. That's terrible.
What kind of
That's terrible. To say a terrible thing like that about lawyers, I will never forgive Maria. Block her. Abuse with fees. By the way, lawyers don't set the fines.
No.
Set
or the fees.
The fines. Well, the fines. But lawyers have nothing to do with the fines. It's the board that sets the fine, and it's the committee that decides whether or not that fine remains or goes.
Maybe she's saying attorney's fees.
I'll fix her. Anyway, back to the phones.
If you win, because Eric will win it, you don't have to pay the attorney's fees.
There you go. Back to the phones. Who do we got, VJ?
Donata in Miami.
Donata, how are you?
In Miami. Are you going to the class?
Hi, Eric. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Eric, I am very sorry what's going on in Israel.
Isn't it tragic?
As a Catholic, I am ashamed
that the
Catholic Church hasn't stood up.
No. Let me say this. Because
people.
I actually wanted to put this on Facebook yesterday, and I did not. And I'm like, no better time to do it when I have my own show. So here is what I want to say, and thank you for going down this path. From the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank the Christian community and all other non-Jewish communities for standing behind Israel in this time of need. It means so much to the Jewish community to watch everybody also stand with us now. So for those of you who are not Jewish, I cannot, from the bottom of my heart, thank you enough. And that includes you, Donata. Thank you.
No, but I think the Catholic Church should stand more. I think the Pope should have come out, not just that little speech that he gave. He should be giving speeches every single day.
Hey, could it be worse than the college campuses that we have in this country? Look at our own college campuses. Do you ever think you'd see college students cheering on that 1,300 people were absolutely slaughtered? Do you ever think you'd see that on any college campus in America? What the hell has happened to us? How did we let colleges become that? That's the question. How did we let that happen?
Parents are paying for that.
That's what parents are. Keep sending your kids to schools like that.
Like I said, I am ashamed of the Pope. I am ashamed that the Catholic Church is not doing more.
How can we help, Donata? Back to condos.
Okay. Should the regulations of condo and HOAs be regulated where we pay our property taxes and where we go to court? Couldn't that be done, a petition to change the amendment? Because, it's the administration, the DDPR is all the way there in Tallahassee.
All right, wait, hold on, Donata.
I pay my taxes here.
Donata, hold up. Are you saying that? I mean, I think I understand what you're saying. You're a taxpayer. You want to have the ability to go to court here in Dade County and not have to file an arbitration case in Tallahassee and wait forever for them to rule on it? Is that basically what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't, like the arbitration route, quite frankly. Yes, it's decided by arbitrators who sit very far away most of the time. And that's why you'll see the law is heading for both condos and HOAs towards mediation.
And that you're a mediator.
Yeah, I was appointed by the Supreme Court as a mediator. I think it's like 15 years ago also.
And what's the difference? Arbitration's binding?
Arbitration's binding. Mediation, you get the parties in a room, right? You tell them it's a confidential proceeding. The plaintiff makes their opening statement. The defendant makes their opening statement. And I go back and forth as a mediator and I explain, if you guys arrive at a settlement, it's better than going to court for the next 10 years and spending thousands of dollars in attorney's fees. We'll put it on paper today. It's enforceable in a court of law. You're not going to get everything you want today.
If everyone leaves unhappy, you did your job.
There you go. You heard me say that before. Exactly right.
But the arbitrator, can't they do that on a Zoom call?
I do it all the time.
Yeah, so
I'm usually
it really doesn't matter.
The arbitrator in Tallahassee does not use Zoom.
Why?
As a matter of fact, they don't even want to use email. They want you to do everything by fax. So yes, it's
what?
Listen. There.
What?
Let me say this.
How can this be changed, Derek?
How can it be changed? Only with the legislature.
Why
Look,
is that?
the idea is that, we're going down a very interesting topic here, but the idea is you'd want to keep these condo cases when you can. The legislature's thinking is, when you can, you want to keep these condo and HOA cases out of the courts. The courts are, loaded with all kinds of other cases, right?
So you fax the arbitrator your stuff, both sides, and then they read the faxes, and then they come up with the decision.
And you have telephone
and they don't
calls
have to
along
deal
the way.
with you.
Right. You have telephone calls along the way. Usually it's done, all on the paper. Sometimes you have some hearings, telephonic hearings, not Zoom hearings. You never get to see the person that's actually making the decision. They are not in line with 21st century standards. Not even close.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know
Donata,
the
we have a
fax
couple
machines
of calls we need to answer before we finish up. Thank you for your call. Thank you. You raised so many issues. I really appreciate it. Thank
you, Eric.
You
Thank
got
you
it.
for everything you do.
Thank you very much. Who else we got, VJ?
Gus in Orlando.
Hey, Gus.
Gus.
Hey, how you guys doing today? First time listener. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. How can we help?
I just wanted to say, real quick, I want to say as a Christian, our brothers and sisters in Israel are in our prayers.
That is awesome. Really appreciate it, Gus. Thank you so much.
Anytime. I have a question for you. I just recently purchased a home that newly constructed with an HOA. The HOA is still under the developer. In the bylaws, I understand the bylaws, and it says no above pool. But my question is regarding that. There's a Florida statute that was recently amended, 720.3045, installation and display and storage items. Would that fall under that as long as that the above pool is not visible from the adjacent?
Very good. Excellent. As long as it's not visible from the adjacent lot. That's right. That's basically what it says. Or from the front of your property, right? Or from the frontage.
Right.
So, basically, you can put artificial turf there. You can put your recreational vehicle back there. And, that's the way I look at it. I think you're absolutely right on that issue. Test them, and then you'll know. That's the question. Will it be?
So I sent a letter to them, and they rejected it. They sent it to the lawyer. How do I fight that? What do I need to do?
Well, send another letter telling them to understand this is the new law. And if the association want to abide by the new law, I'm going to get myself an attorney, and you're going to sue the association. Let's see where they go.
You can always deflate the pool and then move it to the front yard.
Yeah. Are you sure that you're not going to be able to see the pool from the adjacent lot?
I'm sorry?
Are you sure you're not going to be able to see the pool from the adjacent lot?
No. If it's fenced in, no, you can't see it.
Okay, now let me ask you this question. Suppose the people in the adjacent lot, is there a home on the adjacent lots?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to pretend now, close your eyes, and the people who live in the adjacent lots, they're going to sleep at night, and they climb the steps to their second floor or third floor. They look out the window onto your lot. Can they see your pool now?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a problem.
So that Maybe a problem, right? The statute was written very poorly. It was rushed through. So nobody knows.
Yeah.
I gave you a hypothetical for a reason because the statute was written so poorly.
What if there's a big tree there?
No, then it would block it, maybe. But that might be a problem, that you can see it from your adjacent lot, but you only if you go to the second floor. My personal opinion before you build that pool is that it was intended so that even if you look out your window, you don't have to see something that was not allowed for
But
in
does
the
it
governing
say
document.
second floor or first floor?
It says adjacent lot. That's what it says. It doesn't say anything
That's
other
very-
than that.
yeah.
And that needs to be clarified.
That's very
So
vague.
maybe before you spend $100,000 on a pool, see what happens in this legislative session.
Or
Let's see
put
how
it
we
in the
fix
ground, right?
No, don't put it in the ground is what he's saying. Well, yeah, no, put it in the ground.
Then
That's right.
that's fine.
Yeah, I stand corrected. Or put it in the ground. They allow in-ground pools, right?
They do. They
Yeah.
do. It's just the price difference is talking about like almost $50,000.
Right, I'm sorry, right. Of course. Or
Well, when
like,
you put
right,
your when you put
that's
your
correct.
above ground pool in, then you have to take it out. You're going to spend the same amount as if you had just put it in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Before you put that above ground pool in, I should have said, before you put that above ground pool in and spend all that money, you might want to wait until you get see what happens this year in the legislative session if that statute gets amended and clarified. Okay, but that's why I gave you that hypothetical, Gus. Okay, thanks for the phone call, buddy.
No, that's good. That's good. It doesn't matter if the back neighbors don't complain. Right?
No,
They
it
want
does
to do
not
the
matter.
same.
No, you know how.
And they sell the house.
That's
and
like
they
what
sell,
Trump just said.
Yeah.
The banks are not complaining,
Yeah,
right?
it
I
doesn't
paid
matter.
them back. Why are you bothering me?
And then they
right?
sell the house, and someone moves in and goes, "What's this pool doing
Yeah.
here?" Then you have to remove it.
Right. It does not matter if
Yeah,
the
that's
people don't complain. Believe me, board members
Okay,
will complain. Right? No matter what.
Yep.
Thanks, Gus. Be well.
That's true. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate
You got
Have a
it.
good one.
VJ,
Bye-bye.
who else we got?
Barry in Miami.
Barry, how are you, Barry? Really quick.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. The first caller said they didn't have a quorum, so they couldn't have an annual election.
Yes.
That's not correct.
Absolutely.
The quorum's irrelevant. The quorum's irrelevant. Maybe his quorum's 33 1/3%. He doesn't need 33 1/3%. He needs 20%.
Absolutely
not
agree.
33 1/3 or whatever the quorum is.
And as a matter of fact, just really fast, in HOAs now, if the HOAs are using the same system as condos use, like accepting names in advance of the election, and it's not required to take nominations from the floor, if an election is not necessary because, let's say, only 3 people submitted their names for 5 seats in an HOA, right? Since an election is not necessary, a quorum is not necessary, and those 3 people are the board. Big change to HOA law.
Wow.
All right, Barry, what else can we help you with?
And they don't even need to live there.
Maybe. That we don't know.
The guy who sent you the text that told you about the 2 non-unit owners that are serving. on
I
the
know
board,
that was
somebody
you.
sent you a text.
I know that was you.
The
Barry
guy
always
who
keeps
sent
us
it
on
was
our
in
toes.
India when he sent it to you.
You were where, in India?
I'm glad you're home. Are you
I
home?
sent it to you from. I sent it to you from India.
Can you imagine? We have people in India working on this show. Isn't that awesome? What more can we ask for?
I love it, Barry.
Barry,
30 seconds.
thank you so much, buddy. I just got that whisper in my ear. We have 30 seconds left.
Another fast show.
Guys, thank you very much for allowing us to have a wonderful show. Thank you for praying with us for those in Israel. And what can I say? Have a wonderful, healthy, and safe week. Safe week coming up. And we'll see you at the seminars. If you need help off the air, 954-983-1112. See you and speak to you again next Sunday.
And if you missed the show, you can see it on YouTube, Condo Crazy.